Friends in the Macmillan Library. Welcome to your first yoga class of 2022. We are going to get started in child's pose. So, knees to the outer edges of the mat, big toes touching. Gently extend your hands, melt your forehead into your mat. If it feels better to have arms at your side, that is completely fine. Remember, part of yoga is making it personal. So do what feels good. For me, that's extended. So from here, start to cultivate your breathing. Deep inhales, deep exhales, mouth closed. Remembering that the backbone of yoga is actually the breath. If you find yourself holding your breath at all through today's practice, you're going to want to back off on intensity. Finding that happy medium where we're challenged, but we're still able to maintain this breath. The breathing is what calms the nervous system, quiets the mind, and relaxes the body so that you're able to stay in these poses a little bit longer and in a more comfortable fashion. So I'm going to give you a few moments to breathe without my talking. And then from here, I just want you to walk your fingers forward on the mat. To release that upper back, you should feel a nice stretch, kind of in the lat areas, maybe in the side body slightly. Remember, deep inhales, deep exhales, mouth closed. It's going to warm up the body nicely. All right, with arms extended like this, I want you to go ahead, bend the elbows, bring the hands together, bring them towards your head. So it's like you're in a prayer position. We're stretching our triceps here. All right, from here, you're going to extend that right arm back out. Take that left arm and lace it underneath that right armpit. That left temple should gently rest on the mat as we're releasing the left shoulder. The left palm faces the sky. Continue to deep breathe. I'm going to remind you a lot throughout today's practice to tune into the breath because it's really easy to go on autopilot and forget. All right, with your next inhale, bring that left arm back out, extend it to the mat. Take a deep breath here. And then allow that right arm to lace under the left. Palm up, right temple, rest on the mat. All right, next inhale. Come up to a tabletop position. So in yoga, in tabletop as well as downward dog, you want your hands as flat as you can get them on the mat. You want your fingers spread and you want the weight of the position to be in the inner triad. So that is the pointer and the thumb finger. So fingers spread. Weight is in that pointer and thumb, the inner triad. Knees are hip width apart. We're going to start with a few gentle rounds of cat and cow. So inhale as you gently arch the back, gaze up. Exhale as you round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. So we're warming up the spine. And marrying breath with movement. All right, come back to neutral spine. And from here, we're going to do a few breathing exercises that engage and warm up your core. So during practice, you'll often have instructors that say belly button pulls in towards the spine. And it helps to engage the core. It helps during balancing postures. It helps during transitions. And it's actually really good core work. Here we're going to do a 2-tier exhalation of belly button towards the spine. So we're going to exhale, bring it in, and exhale, bring it in further. Hope that makes sense. So from here, we're going to exhale, pull towards the spine. And then with your next exhale, pull even more towards the spine, rounding the back slightly. Inhale, release the stomach. Exhale, exhale. Inhale, release. Exhale, exhale. Inhale, release. Now, as you pull the belly button towards the spine, I want you to feel the engagement of the core. This is going to come in handy later when we do our balancing postures. Exhale, exhale. Inhale, release. One more. Exhale, exhale. Inhale, release. Now, you're going to use that same core engagement as we do our tabletop reach. So exhale, belly button pulls towards the spine. I want you to take right leg behind you. Left arm extends. Now you can stay here or you can lift that back leg. And remembering to breathe. All right, exhale, hand and knee to the mat. Inhale, extend right arm, left leg. Again, that back leg can be down on the mat. If you're super new to yoga and you're like, hey, I'm moving for the first time, Noelle, then stay in your tabletop position, maybe one leg at a time, one hand at a time. Do not rush this. You don't get a prize, so you don't need to show off. As a matter of fact, I can't even see you. Neither can anyone else. All right, exhale back to tabletop position. From here, I want you to curl the toes, lift the hips, and exhale back to your first downward facing dog. Maybe pedal out the feet a little bit. If this does not feel good on your wrists, you have a few options. So you can come back to tabletop. You can extend your arms and come into more of a puppy pose. Or you can also have forearms on the mat and do a dolphin variation for downward dog. That is really going to work your upper body. So if you have tight neck and shoulders, I do not recommend that. All right, back to downward facing dog here. Maybe shake the head yes and no. Shake it from side to side. Warm up the neck. Allow the neck and head to be heavy and relaxed here. Gaze is at the back of the mat. And again, you're focusing on the deep inhales and exhales. So it's easy to lose your breath when you're getting into a position, but the beauty of yoga is we usually hold postures for at least 5 breaths, so you always get a chance to come back to it, even if it's just for the last 2 to 3 rounds. All right, from here, I want you to inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step the feet between the hands. Feet are hip distance apart, and you're just going to hang heavy here. Again, head and neck relaxed. Maybe sway side to side. Release the hands. toe heel the feet together, and inhale as you rise all the way up to stand. Join hands overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. All right. From here, we're going to bring our feet back to hip width apart. And we're going to inhale our hands up. Exhale, you're going to bend forward. You're going to take your peace fingers, wrap it around your big toe. Now, if you're thinking, I can't do that with straight legs, that's completely fine. It's okay to bend your knees here. You got to remember, I'm so short that it's really easy for me to keep my legs straight and to reach my toes. So you can have a deep bend in the knees if you like, but we're just lengthening the spine. All right, inhale as you rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, I want you to step that left foot back. So you're really rooting in the four corners of that front foot, and the heel of the back foot is lifted. So from here, I want you to inhale, arms up. This is called Crescent Pose. We're going to breathe for a few rounds, and then we're going to go ahead and join our breath with some movement. So exhale as you take the arms to the sides, gaze up, almost like making yourself into a cactus. Inhale, arms extend up. Exhale, arms to the side. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale one more time, arms to the side. And go ahead, extend up. Now from here, I want you to come down to your hands. You're going to extend that back leg, drop the knee, point the toes back. It's coming into a little lunge. Now, if this does not feel good, you can be higher in this lunge, like so. Engaging that core. Deeply breathing, making sure you're not clenching your teeth. Sometimes when we release our hips, which is what we're doing in this lunge, you have a tendency to grit our teeth. It's like if I grit my teeth really hard, I can make it through this pose. Just relax that jaw. Try to release the tension as much as possible. Now from here, curl the toes, lift that back knee, and I want you to take a giant step forward, and we're gonna rise up to stand. Now from here, straighten both legs. Take your hands to your hips. What I want you to do is check to make sure that your hips are squared to the front of the mat. You might be thinking, what does that mean? Well, I don't want your hips to be open like this. If you find that your hip is opening, just shorten your stance slightly. So back heel is rooted in the mat now. You're going to inhale as you gaze up, and exhale as you push into that back heel and you slowly lower. Now I want everyone to pause at hip level, even if you're a seasoned yogi and you've been doing this stuff for 20 years, just check in, make sure that your hips are square to the front of the mat. As soon as you open those hips, you are completely changing how the body is opening up. So keeping the hips square to the front of the mat, you're releasing that front leg, nice hamstring stretch. You're also releasing this back hip a little bit. Now, if it's in your practice to go a little bit lower, go ahead and do so. And don't forget to, yep, you guessed it, breathe. All right, hands back to the hip. Go ahead, inhale all the way up. And exhale as the left foot comes forward to meet the right. Toe heel the feet together. Inhale, extend the arms up. And exhale, bring the hands to heart center. All right, we're gonna do that sequence opposite side. So left foot forward, right foot comes back. Back heel's lifted, rooted in that front foot. You should feel a nice release in that right hip flexor area. I feel like I don't feel it there, but I feel it somewhere else. It's totally fine. Every body is different, as well as where we hold our tension. I'm actually feeling this a lot in my back calf. Inhale the arms up. Breathe here a little bit. Try not to make your shoulders too tense in this pose. And focus on the core engagement here, remembering what it felt like when we were doing those core compressions. All right, exhale, arms come to the side. And inhale, arms extend up. Exhale, arms down to the side. Inhale, arms extend up. One more round. Exhale as they gently slide down. And go ahead, bring them back up. Now from here, we're slowly gonna fold forward, extend that back leg, lower the knee, toes point back, and just relax in this lunge here. All right, from here, curl the toes, lift that back knee, giant step forward, straighten the legs as you come up, hands to the hips to keep you honest, and exhale as you slowly root into the back heel, fold forward. Now my left side is much tighter than my right, so I am not getting very low on this side. So again, as soon as you feel those hips open, you need to stop folding forward, and you might even need to shorten your stance. So from here, I'm actually going to take my hands onto the top of my left shin. Always avoid the knee area when doing this. You could also have your hands on your hip. You could even just be up like this. If you're feeling this and you're able to breathe, this is also a great variation of the posture. If you want to take it a little bit lower because you feel yourself slowly getting a little bit more flexible, go ahead and do so. And then from here, feel free as you inhale all the way up, extend those arms up, and step that right foot forward to meet the left. All right, we're just gonna Tadasana here, so arms up towards the ceiling, gaze up, and then exhale as you bring them to heart center. Go ahead, close your eyes. Just be at one with your breath. You might be thinking, that's just some silly yoga sayings. How am I at one with my breath? And all I can say is, how many times do you tune in and notice yourself breathing throughout the day? And then once you notice that you're breathing, you can control your breath a little bit more. You can make each inhale a little bit longer, each exhale a little bit longer. And then you might notice yourself relaxing and softening. Bringing a slight stillness to the brain. It's nice to be able to shut the mind off. All right, from here, we're gonna move into a warrior two. So that right foot is gonna be forward. Exhale as you stuff that left foot back. Pinky toe side is lined up with the back edge of the mat. So that front heel should be lined up with the back arch. You're gonna bend that front knee. And then from here, extend the arms. Gaze is forward. Again, make sure those shoulders are not creeping up towards your ears. Keep them soft. Save that stiffening for when you go outside in this lovely January Wisconsin weather. All right, from here, go ahead and release the hands to the hips. You're going to pivot that front foot. Then you're going to pigeon toe your feet slightly. So we're going to do another forward fold. This time, I want you to inhale as you gaze up and exhale as you fold forward. You don't need to pause at the waist. You can go all the way down. Release that head and neck. Now, if you're like, you know what, pausing at the waist sounds really juicy and fun for me, go ahead and do so. This is not limbo. You don't get extra points for how low you can go. So breathe here. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can take them down to the mat. It's up to you. For some of you, you might want to interlace hands behind you. Again, do what feels good. From here, do take the hands back to the hips and inhale as you slowly rise up. And then exhale as you pivot that front foot, step the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, join hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do warrior two, opposite side. So left foot forward, right foot steps back. Bend that front knee. So when you bend the knee, you want to track the knee slightly towards the pinky toe. So it opens up the inner thigh area. Extend the arms, gaze forward. Focusing on the breath. Back leg as straight as you can get it. Exhale, hands to the hip. Pivot that front foot. Pigeon toe both feet slightly. Inhale as you gaze up. Exhale as you slowly fold forward. Well, hello there. If it feels good to have a slight bend in the knees, go ahead and do so. Inhale as you rise all the way up to stand. Ta-da! Exhale as you pivot forward. This time I want you to pivot into a lunge. Step back to all fours, and I want you to actually move into another child's pose. So from here, go ahead, close the eyes. Rest the forehead on the mat. All right, inhale, open the eyes. Haha, I moved into another position without you guys, I'm sorry. All right, from here, we're just gonna come into a gentle back bend. So you're gonna extend forward onto your stomach, elbows lined up, basically under your shoulders. Hands out in front and inhale as you just gaze forward slightly. You should feel a gentle release in that front body. And the spine really likes this. These gentle back bends are basically vitamins for the spine. So all movement is medicine, but back bends, forward folds, the spine is like, yes, please use me. I was designed to be used in this way, and we don't always move the way that we should or could. All right, from here, go ahead, release the hands under the shoulder, exhale to all fours. For just a few more rounds of belly button towards the spine. So inhale as you gently arch up. Exhale, belly button towards the spine, round. Inhale, arch up. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. One more round. Inhale, arch up. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Inhale, back to neutral. Curl the toes, lift the hips, come to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Remember, finger spread, root down in that inner triad, pedal at the feet if you like. All right, from here, exhale as you step forward. Feet are hip width apart, just hang heavy. And then inhale as you rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come to heart center. All right, from here we're gonna move to balance. So we're gonna start with eagle pose. Now, if you are incredibly new to yoga, first off, I applaud you for trying something new. It's great. It's great for your brain, it's great for your body. And this is a good way to do it. Sometimes the idea of walking into a studio, although there's amazing community, can feel a little intimidating. So learning some basics with no audience is great. So for eagle pose, we are going to root down in that left foot. We're going to lift our right leg up in the air. Now, if you're like, I am not used to balancing on one leg and I don't really like it, you are at home. So that means you have all of these tools to help you. If you want, you can go ahead, step next to a wall, Belly button pulls towards the spine, engaging that core. Just practice lifting the leg. Forget about the eagle. Just bring that knee in the air. You might feel yourself wobbling back and forth and you're going to be like, oh no, I'm failing balance. I'm supposed to be super calm. Not totally true. So the slight wobble back and forth is actually building the stabilizing muscles in your ankles. So don't view it as a weakness. It's good, right? Trees sway in the wind and their trunks are strong and awesome. All right. For the rest of you that you're like, please move on. Let's get to this eagle. You're going to go ahead, cross that right leg over the left. Try to tuck the toes behind the left leg. If you're like, my body doesn't do that, that's totally fine. All right, so both knees are kind of bent here. Then you're going to take the left arm over the right, bring the elbows up, and ta-da, we are in eagle pose. Now, one thing I notice is that people will stop breathing when they're balancing. That's very silly. You want to be able to eventually hold balanced postures for minutes. If you stop breathing for minutes, you're in trouble, right? So go ahead, tune in with your breath. For those of you at the wall, just lifting your knee, tune in with your breath. Give yourself a high five, a pat on the back. All right, from here, go ahead, exhale, release. All right, opposite side. Again, lift the leg. Maybe you're like, oh, I feel a little more sturdy at this side. Instead of holding on to the wall, just being near a wall, lift the leg, practice not going by the wall. If you're like, whoa, I'm gonna fall, go back to the wall. But remember, in this ebb and flow, you are actually building the muscles to be able to do this away from the wall someday. Maybe you'll use the wall for the rest of your life. It's okay. All right, cross that left leg over the right, bend the knees, right arm over the left, elbows come up, breathe. Nice, juicy, deep inhales and exhales. Exhale, release the arms, slowly uncross the legs. Next up, our eagle is going to fly. So if you're at the wall and you're like, okay, this is interesting. I want to do this, but I want to do this at the wall. How that looks, you're going to go ahead, lift that front knee. Exhale, you're going to take it behind you. So the core work that we did in the beginning of the belly button pulling towards the spine, when we did that 2-tier, that second one where the belly button really pulled in towards the spine, you're going to want to engage your core to that degree for this. So one thing you can do as well is lean forward, toe is down, lift the toe, go back to the floor. Lift the toe, go back to the floor. Again, movement's medicine, so whatever you're doing something good. All right, for the rest of us here, I'm gonna have to turn, otherwise I'm gonna be kicking that wall. We're going to cross right leg over left, left arm over, breathe here, deep inhale, exhale, bring that right leg back, extend it behind you, your eagle is flying. If you're like, I don't want my eagle to fly today, that's okay. Try to keep that back leg as straight as possible. Inhale as you slowly come forward, land the eagle, cross that right leg over the left. Release the arms and the legs. Yay. I also feel good that I didn't fall while I was on camera, you know? Yoga instructors do not always do things perfectly, so don't feel like you need to. All right, opposite side, you know I'm gonna fall this time, right? All right, left leg over the right, right arm over the left. Inhale, exhale, bring that leg behind you. Ooh, I'm wobbling, I'm building my stabilizing muscles. I'm engaging my core like we did in tabletop. Belly button towards the spine. And from here, inhale as you slowly come forward. Cross that left leg over the right. Exhale as you land the eagle. Yay, we did it. All right, from here, feet hip width apart. Inhale as you extend the hands up. And exhale as you fold forward. This time I want you to slide your hands underneath your feet. A deep bend in the knees here feels nice, juicy release for the spine. It was working really hard in that pose. Release that head and neck. All right, from here, release the hands. And I want you to slowly come down to your knees. All right, take the feet out to the side. Come to your bottom. And extend both legs out in front of you. All right, so we're going to do a couple seated forward folds here. So the thing to remember with a seated forward fold is that when you go forward, you're not going forward like a rainbow. You're not rounding, right? You are trying to bring the stomach to the legs first. The best analogy I can come up with, probably should search for a new one, is that when you're a kid and you're making a peanut butter sandwich on one piece of bread and you're folding it in half, that is the kind of fold that you want for this forward fold. You want belly button making contact with the legs first. You don't want to be like, hey, look, I reached my toes, but I made a rainbow. All right, so I hope that makes sense. So from here, root down in the sit bones. Inhale the arms up. Exhale as you slowly fold forward. Now, since we are folding like the peanut butter sandwich, if you can't touch your toes, it's okay. You can keep your hands out to the side. You can grab the sides of your leg. Make sure that you're breathing here. You should feel a nice, juicy release in the low back. And of course, you're going to feel this in the hamstrings of it. When I'm in this pose, I like to actually envision my spine getting longer, which then leads me down the rabbit hole of maybe if my spine gets longer, it's going to add a few inches. If I add a few inches, I'm going to be 5'1". And then I come back to the breath to try to calm my monkey mind. All right, inhale as you slowly come up. And exhale, bring the bottom of that right foot to the inside of the left leg. All right, from here, inhale the arms up. Exhale as you slowly fold forward. Again, the goal is not, I want to be able to touch my toes. The goal is I want to do each pose with integrity. What does integrity mean? It means that I don't come out of alignment just to make it look like I'm flexible. And it also means I can breathe. So if you are able to be in good alignment and touch your toes, but it's so difficult that you're not breathing, just back off a little bit. Inhale as we come back to seated. Exhale as you cross that right foot over the left leg. Hug the right knee into the chest. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, right fingertips sprinkle behind you as you gaze over that shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, extend that right leg forward. All right, bottom of the left foot comes on the inside of the right leg. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, slowly peanut butter sandwich, fold yourself forward. I hope you all have made a sandwich like that. Otherwise, I realize my analogy doesn't make sense. Inhale as you rise up. Cross that foot over the leg. Hug your knee into your body. Take the arm up. And exhale as you take it behind you. Remember that you want to twist in the thoracic part of the spine. What does that mean? It means the middle part of the spine. Inhale back to center. Release the legs out in front of you. Shake them out a little bit. Scoot that butt forward. Keep your knees bent as you slowly come to your back. From here, we're going to do a couple bridges. So Root down in the feet. Inhale as you lift your hips up off the ground. Breathe here. If it doesn't feel good to hold it, you can practice just exhale up, inhale down. All right, release this first one. Pull the knees into the chest. Roll on the back slightly. All right, feet meet the mat again. And inhale as hips lift. Bridge, one of my favorite poses. Deep breaths. If you're like, Noelle, you're starting to sound a little like Darth Vader. Is that normal? Yes, it is. It's called Ujjayi breath. So some people say Darth Vader, some people say ocean waves. It's allowing me to stay in tune, and it's keeping my body warm as well. Exhale as you slowly release. Keep that left foot on the mat. Flex the right. Cross the ankle just above the left knee. For some of us, this is our pose. This is where we stay. We relax into it. For others, you can inhale as you lift that left leg up, and you do a figure eight. Keeping the feet flexed, it's going to protect your knees. Exhale, release that left foot back to the mat. Extend the arms out to a T and let the legs fall to the left as you gaze right. Again, vitamins for the spine. Inhale as you come back to center. Exhale, release the right foot to the mat. Inhale as you bring that left leg up, cross the ankle just above the right knee. And if you want, you can take it deeper by pulling towards the chest. Feeling a nice release in that left outer hip. Exhale, slowly release the foot back to the mat. Arms out to a T. Let the legs fall to the right and gaze left. Close your eyes here. All right, from here, inhale as you bring the legs back to center. And you completed this juicy yoga practice. All we have left is Shavasana. So you're going to extend the legs out, arms to the side. Shavasana in Sanskrit means corpse pose. So you are acting like a corpse on your mat. Now, what does that mean? It means that you don't have to do anything. You can just relax into your mat and breathe here. A lot of people joke that this is their favorite pose. I don't think that's a joke. It's a wonderful pose because we don't often just get to relax in life. I have 10-month-old twins. Trust me, I know. So from here, you're just going to close your eyes. Soften that forehead. You can return your breathing back to normal if you like. And just try to be as calm, as relaxed as possible. If this is your first time doing yoga and you're like, I don't feel relaxed, I don't feel calm, that's okay. It takes time. So for those of you that have more time, I encourage you to stay in this pose as long as you possibly can. I mean, usually minimum, I try to give students at least 3 to 5 minutes, but we don't have that kind of time today. So stay here longer if you can. If you can't, go ahead, extend the arms up overhead. Roll to whatever side feels most comfortable. Quick pause here, and then you're going to push yourself up to a seated position. So I'm going to turn here and face you guys. All right, from here, we're going to do one more round of breath. Hands at heart center. Namaste. So namaste means the inner light in me acknowledges and sees the inner light in you. I hope you enjoyed class. If you would like to do more classes, the library has archived of old classes that I have taught. It's in the Macmillan Yoga Facebook group, but you can always contact whatever librarian you need to, and they'll point you in the right direction. And I will also see you guys next month for another class. Bye, friends.